David Onama versus Garrett Armfield in the featherweight division. Originally, we had David Onama, Austin Lingo. Again, I'm not really too sure why Austin Lingo withdrew from the fight. He just did. That's the news. And Onama thought he was not going to get an opponent. Everyone was saying Onama is not going to get an opponent. Nobody is going to sign up to fight Onama on 3, 4, 5 days notice. He's not going to get a fight. Up comes Garrett Armfield, the guy David Onama actually faced back in his amateur MMA career for the KC Fighting Alliance featherweight belts back in 2018 when they were 6-0 and 9-0, 21 and 23 years old. So we got a rematch here in the featherweight division inside of the UFC. Now after that, Armfield immediately became pro. Like a half of a year later, became pro, got 2 good knockout wins, lost to UFC fighter Ronnie Lawrence, who's also on the card, got 3 finishes in a row, lost 1 fight by finish, and then he got 3 finish wins in a row again. So he's a guy that most of his wins are by finish, except for 1 on the regional scene, and most of his losses are by decision right there. But do I think this one's going to go to a decision? David Onama versus Garrett Armfield? No. I've watched some film on Garrett Armfield. I've seen what his best path to victory in this fight would be is literally staying at range, popping that jab in, body kicking, leg kicking, and just moving and moving and moving. Staying away from the hooks of David Onama for 3 rounds and hoping Onama never is able to close that distance. But even in their first fight back in 2018, and even in the second fight, I'm thinking Onama's going to be able to close that distance. The dude is an absolute killer. He's got amazing striking. He is taller. He is lengthier than Garrett Armfield. He's more powerful. He's faster than Garrett Armfield. He's the better boxer than Garrett Armfield. I think he's going to close the distance. I think he's going to get Garrett Armfield's back to the cage, and we're going to see a highlight reel KO right here. Armfield's going to survive a little bit because he is a tough mofo. Only time he's ever been finished was a submission. He's never been knocked out ever in his UFC career, so it is possible he could survive. But dude, Onama lands, and he really lands. Like the only guys to really survive David Onama were who? Kyle Powell and then Garrett Armfield. His UFC career and his MMA career as a pro, he's knocked out and he's finished everyone except for Mason Jones, and that fight was very close. And this one, Garrett Armfield, I mean, I know he's got a good chin. I know he's never been knocked out. But everyone gets knocked out eventually. And a guy in David Onama who just starched Gabriel Benitez in his last fight should be able to go out there and do the same to Garrett Armfield. I think David Onama's going to starch him in the fight. It should be good. Armfield's coming in there as a short notice replacement on like 3 days notice. He's a legit guy for that. My respect for Garrett Armfield is through the roof for taking a rematch with the only guy to beat you in your amateur career, and coming in UFC on short notice like this is insane. That is like mad respect for Garrett, but he's going to get knocked out in the fight. David Onama by knockout in the very first rounds.